Christchurch Mayor Phil Mauger is with me. Good morning, Phil.
G'day, young fella. How you doing?
Very well, thanks. Lots to get through, no mucking around. Minister Chris Bishop has declined the council's request for more time on this housing intensification decision. Why wasn't the council ready, and what's been holding up the process, Phil?
Well, we have been working it on all the way through, and as you know, the government is proposing to modify the Resource Management Act, and that will become law in August. Now, we might be able to be given the power to opt out with that new law. It's been signalled that we might be, but until the law's in, we don't know. So all we were after was a little bit of breathing space after we get the law in our hot little hand and digest it, just a little bit of breathing space. But it is what it is, and we're still working on it. So it's, it'll be good.
So what now? I mean, essentially, does this mean the council still has to make a decision on whether or not some parts of intensification in the city continue or not?
That's right. The only thing that me personally has been against is that 3-on-3 thing. Like out in a brand new subdivision, it wouldn't stop someone buying a section next door to you and putting 3 stories high with 3 buildings on it. And that's one of the things that I don't think is good in some areas of town. And that's a bit that I feel we should opt out of, not being predetermined, of course.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. Anyway, were councillors given enough information early enough to make these decisions, though, do you think?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Well, as I say, the new law's coming in, and I'm hoping that it'll make it very clear, so it'll make life simple for us. So, but we just need to digest it after August.
Okay. The Manchester Street lights, I mean, they've been known to have issues for years. Why is it taking the council so long to act?
I don't know. I've been trying off and on for a wee while to see what we can do. Everywhere I go, and into meetings and stuff, and you bring up traffic, there are 2 things that really get under people's skin in Christchurch. It's Park Terrace Cycleway and Manchester Street. When we built it, Manchester Street, there were supposed to be sensors underneath where the buses park that would tell the traffic lights, there's a bus here, make the light go red. That never happened. So the lights just kept cycling all the time. People would pull up, there wasn't a bus within sight, and that would get right on their tail. So I went down with staff where we're just walking around town, which we do, and I said, my God, can we actually do something here to make this better, something real simple? And it was they went away and suggested we could put covers over these for a month. I'd like to see them a bit longer and just see how it happens. But the one thing I implore on people to do if they're driving down there, and the bus has its indicator on, let the poor person out, because the driver out, because it makes his life a lot easier. Otherwise, these bus gates could well come back and be there for ages.
You see, the problem is this wasn't a hard decision to make in the first place, was it? But once again, it was council staff was trying to manage and decide on how traffic could perform. I mean, this is no big secret that they didn't want cars going down Manchester Street in the first place because they wanted to make it more pedestrianised, right?
And more bus priority, but to be fair to council staff, not council staff, it was more going back to when it was Skirt, or I'll say Sarah or something like that. It wasn't. It's not a new thing. It's been in my view, it's been a shambles for years.
Okay. Do you support keeping the Sumner mast lights on?
I haven't got a view on that, Chris. It's a community board thing. They'll sort it out. They're going to have some meetings and submissions and all sorts of things. So they'll sort it out. So I'll leave that.
You know, when you say meetings and submissions, it makes me think lots of money involved on a couple of moaners in Sumner who want to feel important.
The community board, I'm sure, will just have at one of their com board meetings, they'll just ask people to come along and have their say, and then they'll make a decision, which probably won't make everyone happy, but they'll make a decision. So it's their backyard, let them do it there.
Well, let's hope the 2 people who complained stop complaining. Now, I spoke to the CEO of the National Water Regulator last weekend actually, and he says it's now up to the Christchurch City Council to upgrade its infrastructure if chlorine is to be removed from Christchurch's drinking water. So what exactly needs to be done to meet the standards to get the chlorine out, and how much will it cost?
One of the good things we had last week, the water regulator came down and saw us, and they said, boys, we're very happy with all your wells in Christchurch. They're so deep. We have deep in some that were shallow. We've got away from a thing called protozoa, like they had in Queenstown, which is going to save us hundreds of millions of dollars in extra filtering and treatment. But And all our wellheads are above ground now, so that no stormwater will ever get in there. So we've sorted that. We've got the pump station sorted. Our problem is leaks. Now, if any city is going to get rid of chlorine, it's going to be this one. So they've said to us, from what I understand, if we can get our leakage down to a respectable level, at the moment it's 27%, but we have got a paper coming to us next week, which is going to report to us how well we're doing on that, because we've been replacing water mains for years, a number of years, and so every time we change one, we're finding leaks. Take, for example, Madras Street, next to the stadium, we replaced that water main there. The old one was leaking on every joint, and we didn't know it because it was just soaking into the ground. So every time we fix a joint, it gets better and it fixes our leakage rate.
From what you've been told after speaking to the water regulator and to speaking to council staff, is there a timeline or a cost estimate to get this work up to scratch to get the chlorine removed? No. We just got to keep working as best we can, and every time we replace a broken pipe or something, an old water main, it just gets better and better. So the more we do, the better it gets, and we will get to a point where the leakage rate is down to a certain point, and they'll say, righto boys, this whole area, we can now stop putting chlorine in it. Right, so it'll be done probably area by area. It's not going to be let's take the chlorine out tomorrow kind of thing.
No, it won't be tomorrow, but it will be. Unfortunately, the different areas do link up with each other, so that's a bit of an issue in itself. So we're working on it, and as I say, if any city can get rid of it, it should be ours.
I'm sorry I asked. Although that Burnside tap that you and Sam were doing a little wee video in, I know it exists, but maybe I'll go there and fill up my H2Os. Anyway, James Daniels has confirmed he's running in the Coastal Ward for the election. Do you support him? Do you support his campaign? What's your views on this, considering he forced a by-election last time round?
Yeah, I read his thing in the paper the other day, and he explained why he did that, a job of a lifetime coming along. But when I was in council, and especially on community board, James and I got along like a house on fire. You know, we got some stuff at the community board stuff, and we both worked hard to represent the East. But as mayor, the election's coming, and whoever gets in, I will work with.
Will his return strengthen the current council, do you think, or is a fresh ideas required?
No, he brings a different lens to a number of things, and as I say, I got on with him like a house. We both got on well together. We've known each other for years when we've played silly buggers over in Brighton and North Beach. So
yes, when you were digging up trenches or something or other. Naughty boy. Christchurch Mayor Phil Mauger, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Chris. Good on you, man.